Thanks for tuning in live to Toronto Business Summit, the largest business marketing event in Canada. And now your host, Max Carter.
All right. So let's look at some examples of case studies of copywriting at work, and what's the difference between just putting some plain text on the website, explaining your product, and proper copywriting.
Okay. So, I'll show you one of my favorite letters, and they say that this letter made $1 billion. I don't know if that's actually true or not, but it definitely made a lot of money. So it's for the Wall Street Journal, the daily diary of the American dream. So, and it starts not based with facts, not telling people about some product. It starts by telling people about a really interesting story. So, dear reader, on a beautiful late spring afternoon 25 years ago, two young men graduated from the same college. They were very much alike, these two young men. Both had been better than average students, both were personable, and both, as young college graduates are, were filled with ambitious dreams for the future. Recently, these men returned to their college for their 25th reunion. They were still very much alike. Both were happily married, both had 3 children, and both, it turned out, had gone to work for the same Midwestern manufacturing company after graduation, and were still there. But there was a difference. One of the men was manager of a small department of that company. The other was its president. I won't read the full sales letter. People will be able to look it up if they want to, but this really illustrates how great copywriting should work. Great copywriting should not be about selling people a product. It should be about selling people an emotion. Because we copywriters believe that people really make their decisions emotionally, and then they justify them with rationality by looking at what other people are doing and saying they're doing it, I should do it. So the main thing with copywriting is that you should be able to get that emotion out of people. And that's really what a copywriter is. He's not so much a writer as he is a
storyteller. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. Perfect word. Yeah. Absolutely. He's really a storyteller, he or she. And the really most important thing about copywriting, the key element, is understanding the people that you're writing for. And I think you speak some Russian, right?
Yeah.
In Russian, we have this saying, measure 7 times and cut once.
Yeah.
So I think this is absolutely true of copywriting. You should always do research 80% of the time. That should be most of your work, to really understand what people are buying, why they're buying it, and get into their heads. And when you do that, it'll become very clear exactly how you can position your product or whatever your offer is in such a way that people want to buy it. That is key, and I think that's really where most people go wrong, and why most people would need to hire a copywriter.
So you start with why, and then you go from there.
Yeah, exactly.
So how does it affect sales? And is there like any numbers, for example, any tests being done for different, how copy, when done by professional copywriter, improved sales? And
yeah, definitely. Usually what happens is there's let's say this Wall Street Journal letter. They have this letter, and what they would do is have other people come in and write new sales letters, and they would test them against each other. And this is what usually happens with copywriting. There's always testing happening. And in that way, it's always easy to see if a copywriter is improving your performance or not. The goal, of course, is always to sell more. There are some really remarkable stories, like the Wall Street Journal. They say that this sold $1 billion worth of subscriptions for them. More recently, there was this website, Harry's. They sell shaving equipment and blades.
Yep.
And they had a really well-written landing page before they launched. And I think they got something like 30,000 emails in a month because it was short but really persuasive. The thing is that a lot of the time, copywriters don't like to talk about this, but a lot of the time nothing happens. You work hard and then you end up with a poor result. And this is probably why copywriters can cost so much. A sales letter from a good copywriter starts at maybe $2,500 at least. And around that level, there starts being the expectation that if it doesn't perform well, that the writer will do something about it and tweak it to improve the sales. Because if you're not giving results to people as a copywriter, your services are not worth anything. We only get paid for delivering results to people. Nothing else matters.
Right. And for example, for business owners that have website that may be doing some marketing already, what are the signs to look at, to look for maybe that their copywriting, well, pretty much sucks or doesn't work, or is there some elements they should look for?
There's a lot of elements to look for. I mean, if their product isn't selling, there could be a lot of reasons. It could be the traffic sources. It could be the copy. That's a pretty big one. It could be the pricing. But I would put it like this. If you know that the traffic you're getting is decent or equivalent to what your competitors are getting, and if your prices are equivalent to what your competitors are doing, and if other people are basically succeeding doing something like what you're doing and you're not making any sales, there's a good chance that your copywriting sucks. And that is really the best measuring stick. Or otherwise, if you just really know and you have good evidence, not just gut feeling, but if you really feel like what you have is great, but people just aren't buying it, then again, it's a good sign that you need some better copywriting. And sometimes there doesn't have to be a big change in copywriting for a very big difference. For example, we tested a landing page for a guy who was selling, you know, these Moleskine books, right? These really overpriced little things. He was selling a budget Moleskine alternative, and we tested two different buttons. One was buy now, and the other one was learn more. But they both took people to checkout. But when it said buy now, because people are averse to buying stuff now and to being told to buy stuff now, they didn't like that. So the learn more button made about 50% more sales. And that's just 4 words difference. So copywriting can make a really big difference. But the main thing is that either you're making some sales or your competitors are succeeding doing something similar. If you can't find anybody who's ever done anything like what you're trying to do, I mean, I would like to say that carry on and you've got a great idea and it's going to work out eventually. But a lot of the time, even if it is a great idea, the market might not be ready for it. So that's the best way to know. If someone else is doing this successfully, or if you've seen some success yourself, great. If not, then you really have something to think about there.
And is copywriting something business owners should learn themselves, or is it something they should like outsource, or is it just worth to go to a professional? And
that's a great question. I think it really depends on what your strengths are as an entrepreneur. If you're more of a salesperson and a marketer and you're very comfortable with the sales process, if you've worked in sales before, then you'll find it very easy to copyright once you get over that hurdle of learning the basic structures and understanding that it's not really about writing, that it's just about selling. If, however, you're more of a managerial type, if you prefer managing people and resources, you don't like to sell, you just like to stay behind the scenes, then if you can afford to, don't learn copywriting, But honestly, out of the whole marketing tool set, copywriting is just the highest payoff skill that you can have.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can afford to invest 30, 60 minutes a day, I would still recommend that everyone learns to do copywriting. It's just, you're going to save a lot of money. And if you don't mind doing it too much, then it's going to do a lot for your business. And it's going to be another skill that you can sell in the future if you want to.
I can see the only problem with doing copywriting for your own business is you're a bit or kind of you're doing it for your own product. So you kind of think that people know how great it is, and I think you'll miss a lot of key points that a third pair of eyes will actually see and study and look at other markets. Maybe if you do your own copywriting, you'll go into your competitors. They're not as good, and you'll just be kind of, how's that word, pre-sold maybe on your own business than actually having a clear view of what's.
I agree with you. This is actually my story. Can I show you some bad copy?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, let's do it.
So before I started copywriting, I was teaching English here in Moscow, and I was making really great money. Here's the copy I wrote trying to sell my product that was related to teaching English as a second language abroad. What I had was these worksheets, which are very different from what people usually teach English with, on topics like cat psychology, cosplay, legalization of marijuana in the United States. Just fun, interesting stuff. And people really like that. And I really had a blast teaching and making money. So when I decided to basically start making money online, my first instinct was to sell all the resources that I'd made. So here it says, stop using lame lesson plans and try these awesome ones. Good teachers know worksheets matter, and how I make $10,000 plus a month teaching ESL. To me, I thought this was great because I personally loved it, exactly like you said. But I hadn't realized that actually most teachers, they don't really care that much about making a lot of money. They're in it for completely different reasons. And second of all, most teachers don't want to use these interesting topics. They want to teach about London is the capital of Great Britain, and stuff like that. And finally, a big category of teachers does not care about their students having fun. That's not what they're about. So, needless to say, this product bombed completely. I was so excited about the product that I just spent months working on it, and nothing ever came of it because I completely, let my enthusiasm blind me as to what people really wanted. And that can definitely happen. You need to be objective, but you can learn to be objective over time. That's the good part.
So yeah, copywriting, it can really dramatically increase sales. Even just changing the words on your buttons to email subject line to heading, it can, like, the difference I've seen is easily sometimes 20, 50, and sometimes even 200, 400%. So it's something absolutely worthy of an investment. And what are some of the maybe guidelines to pricing on copywriting, just to wrap this up for today? What's the industry averages?
Well, really, you're going to get as much as people are willing to pay you. It's kind of like art pieces.
Well, I've seen those, sorry to interrupt you. I've seen those Facebook ads. I think it was Mike Copywriting selling sales letters for $200. It's $197. So it just, and the copy was well written for his product, but it's just, what kind of result can you expect for $200? And I'm sure there's, like right now, Indian companies selling SEO. Soon they'll be selling copywriting. So it's just, And I'm sure business owners will get bombarded with all these offers. We
Yeah.
offer copywriting for $100, and I know people say we do copywriting, but they actually just do content writing instead of copywriting.
You're right. The thing is, for $200, you can technically write 4,000 words, let's say, of which are going to be like good English, and they might even be very persuasive. They might be using the tricks that we talked about. But the problem is that copywriting is 80% research. So for $200, there's nobody that's going to go and really understand what the market wants and how those people feel. And no matter, like you said, it's not going to be copy, it's just content. And I do content writing because it's very easy. Like after writing copy where every single word matters so much, with content, I just sit down, I write in one take, and compared to copy, I really enjoy doing that. I've written some content for you. So I definitely think that pricing copy at $200 is unrealistic. I think Goldman Sachs just invested $30 million in an automated copywriting service, which again, I'm sure it's going to write technically great copy. Like I said, most great copywriters are very bad at English, written English. But the problem is that we're not at a level yet where you can hire cheap labor or a computer to do in-depth research and really understand the minds of your customers.
Exactly.
So I think that realistically, a good sales letter should cost no less than $1,000. That's the rock bottom. A good email will cost no less than $50. What are the other main things? A product description should cost.
Landing pages, yeah. So it's basically a landing page, sales page is pretty
Landing
much.
page would say $200. Advertisement probably $50 to $100 for a decent one. Product descriptions, just short ones, 150 words, $10. Yeah, that's about it. You might have a smaller price if you are an agency and you've got a copywriter who you're giving a lot of work in the same industry, because then he doesn't have to do the research every time. You can save maybe 30% off what I'm saying right now. But that's about it. You are going to have to pay. Again, like what I'm saying might sound like a lot to some people, but it's really not a lot for copywriting. When you consider that, like we discussed, just a few words can make thousands of dollars of difference. So $1,000 might seem like a lot, but a great copywriter will take $50,000 for a sales letter.
Yeah.
So no need to be scared.
That's I think that's an important point to consider, the difference and how much difference does it make to your business. For example, if you're paying $2,000 for a copywriting landing page, but you'll make 100% increase in your sales, so that's a tiny investment to make, I think.
Exactly.
And it's not uncommon for copywriting, especially when they write something really tough, maybe a tough niche, a tough product. Sometimes they think on a headline for a week, and it's just, it takes time and a lot of effort.
Absolutely.
All right, George, thank you for the talk today. I'll have all your contact details below this video on the summit, so people can get in touch with you if they need some consulting or if they need copy done.
Thanks very much.
And,
anyone does do that, I apologize in advance. I've been so busy working since I started copywriting. I haven't had the chance to put together a full website yet. But yeah, I'll give you my details, and if anyone wants to get in touch, please do so. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you, George. Thanks.
All right, man. Thanks. Have a great day.